Hello, Otafest listeners, and welcome back to our Otafest podcast. I'm Jay, and I am once more joined by Angelo and Nancy.
Hello, Jay.
Yeah, I wasn't here last week.
You weren't here last week.
And we have an explanation for it, we swear.
Wait, no, we literally explained on the podcast last week. Jay's computer was actively exploding.
It's true.
It's true.
Wow.
We did have an explanation.
We'll talk
I
about
forgot that we actually knew exactly what was happening as it was happening.
It was this man's fault.
It's not
It was a
my
live
fault.
playback.
It's not my fault at all. You can't prove anything. You can't
I've
make
got
the
your
allegations.
grimy little gremlin fingerprints all over. All right. But again, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we've got some news and announcements. Plamod joins us at Otafest 2025. Plamod Distributors is Canada's source of everything anime, providing retailers with the finest pop culture collectibles. With a growing catalog of hundreds of IPs and over 50 manufacturers such as Bandai Hobby, Tamashii Nations, Good Smile Company, and more, Plamod strives to bring only the best products from Asia. Visit Plamod in the Acadia Room at the Marriott for a free trial kit workshop. For more information about events, giveaways, and convention-exclusive items, follow the official Instagram at Plamod_official.
Yippee!
Hooray! Go Plamod!
Yeah, thanks for sponsoring. They are a great partner that we've had for at least the last handful of years, if not a little bit more.
And I mean, like, you just had to go to one of their workshops and you got, like, a free Pikachu Plamod kit last year.
Yeah, and I think the year before that it was a Goku.
Something like that. I don't know what they have in store for us this year. I'm pretty excited to find out.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Just show up, grab a trial kit. The trial kits are, yours to take home, but you can also build them on the spot in the room. There's a little table station set up for everybody. They take like 15, 20 minutes to make. You don't need any tools except, hopefully working dexterous hands or other apparatuses or someone else to help you, because they're very like kid friendly as well. And kind of like a family friendly, fun way to get into kit building.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Gengar. The Gengar is a good time.
Oh, I love Gengar.
He's my boy.
Yeah. Now I think you might also have another boy. You finally finished Cyberpunk
No one's ever
Edge
told
Runners.
me about my other boy.
Your other boy, David.
David. I see. Yeah, I finally...
Wasn't that his name? David Ramirez?
Yeah.
No, Martinez? I think.
Martinez.
It's I just watched. You'd think I would have remembered his name. But, it's not really an anime
don't remember
anyways.
any name of any anime character as I'm watching it.
It's not really an anime anyways. It's just American cartoon.
How
in the anime style.
Dare
How
you?
dare?
How dare you?
That was a product of Trigger, thank you.
That was a product of Studio Trigger. Directed by,
in that case,
the legendary... I need to look it up because I'm so bad at names.
Okay.
If anything, you've been Studio Trigger.
Imaishi, I believe.
Could be. I really liked...
Sounds right, sure.
I really liked the art style. I really liked the opening song because I used to listen to a lot of Franz Ferdinand. So this fire kind of like hits real nice. It was a good time. I kind of did a slow start. I very slowly started watching like episode 1, and then maybe a couple days later 2 and 3, and then like 4 and 5, and then like I decided to sit down and like binge the rest. And I mean, the only bad thing for me, like experience wise, was...
I remember what you did.
What do you
did.
mean?
When you started watching it, you clicked on episode 10 first.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, but I
right.
don't. That's why I kind of slowed down my watching too. I was like, oh, I'll give myself time to forget, which is nice. You know,
Okay, that's fair.
yeah, I can freely admit to that. Uh, Actually, there's two things. The first thing was, even though I was kind of making fun of it as like it's a cartoon, not an anime, it's not really the point. But there was a lot of debate, uh, at least online. I was like just kind of browsing a little bit, and some people were really pushing to watch the show as English dub versus Japanese dub.
Why is that?
I think a lot of it has to do with the world it's set in.
All right.
Like it is in America. In America. Um, and sometimes because of the characters and their sort of experiences in that setting, you might want to have a more geographically accurate language to represent that. Um, like the argument as well is that I'm going to play Cyberpunk in English, you
That's
know?
fair. That's a fair argument to make.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up watching it in Japanese anyways, because I just kind of tend to, and uh, it didn't really change that much for me, I guess, in the end of the day, but I wonder if I missed very much. Like, I don't, for what that show is, I would say I don't feel like I missed very much. I will say though, because I have had a few, like I probably have about a dozen hours of gameplay in Cyberpunk the game before I watched the show. I already going into episode 10 and seeing the like final fight, I already had no hope for the protags, you know?
Oh no, you did get that far. You did get spoiled for yourself.
No, it's not that. It's because like pretty early on in Cyberpunk in the game, Adam Smasher is very clearly like depicted as being alive and well, and he's a major antagonist, or at least he presents as one early in the game.
Oh, and so you realized, well, if Adam Smasher is here and this is a prequel to the game,
Yeah, like you
something
can't
bad
have
happens to our boys.
yeah, you're not going to have a successful protag fight here. Is how I kind of viewed it. It would be very unrealistic to expect something like that unless this is like an AU of this, which wouldn't make any storyline sense. But
Absolutely, it wouldn't.
yeah, but it is a good time. I'm not upset that I took so long to watch it, get around to watching it. I'm rarely ever upset about that kind of thing. I don't really care about watching things when they first release, no matter how many people tell me it's great or it's good or it ties into other content that I really like. I'm just not that kind of person.
That's
But
fair. You're allowed to take
like
things as your life goes. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. The art direction though is super super on point. I really like the characters, even though some of it is a little predictable, I guess, but it's a short story and they're just trying to give you some, I feel like more background of that universe, which is a great universe to begin with. It's a fun time. So I
No,
really
it's
have
not.
no real notes. Well, it's a
It's
fun time
not a
if you're
fun time.
it's a fun time if you're brain dancing all the time.
It's
Oh
a capitalist
no.
hellscape. It is not a fun time. This was supposed to be satire.
It's
Oh.
not satire. Have you looked outside?
I know it's not satire anymore,
I mean,
but it
some
was
people
supposed to
just
be.
watch a dystopia and use it as an instruction manual. You know what I
Some
mean?
people just want to
That's
watch the
true.
world burn.
I mean,
fine.
in fairness, my Cyberpunk save files, we've we've talked about this very briefly, Nancy, but I start as a corpo.
So did I. I
Yeah.
also started as a corpo, and then I never finished that game through. That was before they released all of the big gameplay changing patches, and then after
Right.
they released all that stuff, we started off as a street kid instead this time. The story didn't seem to change a whole lot in the beginning, except we did something that was a little different and ended up not getting the funeral.
Oh, that's, I don't know how that's a possibility. I guess I haven't really thought about it.
We did something different. We ended up not getting the funeral
Okay.
near the beginning of the game. It was weird because it was such a
It's sort of
it
a
was such an
pivotal story
emotional
point.
part of the
Yeah.
story. And I'm not super sure why it didn't, but yeah, we didn't get the funeral, which is it broke some expectations for me. I was like, when's the funeral? When does it happen? And then all of a sudden, Mama just like sends you all of his stuff and just says, "Here you go, take care." And we're like, "What? Where's the funeral?"
Interesting. I
So I'm not
don't
sure.
know. I mean, I haven't really explored the branches of, decision making you can have in that game, and I won't until I beat it. I have probably put in about 3 or 4 more hours into it since I finished Edge Runner, and I'll work my way through it. But
I
yeah, I
have not
mean,
put a minute of time into that game since it launched.
did you even buy it though?
No, I did buy it and I tried to
Oh,
play it. I got soft locked on a really early, like one of the tutorial missions.
Oh
oh,
no,
And
that happened
so
to me
I was
too.
legitimately just running around trying to complete this mission for like 3 hours, being like, why can't I do this? Eventually, I threw myself off the top of a building and
What?
ended up resetting things to the point where I could continue with the mission. But at that point, I was so like kind of infuriated, and the bugs in general were just really getting into the enjoyment of it that I
Mm,
just put it down. I actually tried to refund it through Steam, but because I was over the 2 hours, they wouldn't do it.
yeah.
And I just
Well,
haven't touched it since.
you could always start again and
I
see if
hear
the
that
new
it's a
patch changes things.
fantastic game now, that it's like stable, it's good.
Yeah,
you got the No
exactly.
Man's Sky treatment.
It really did. God, No Man's Sky is an insane turnaround on its own, but like
Hmm.
legitimately, Cyberpunk is talked about very fondly these days. And I'm
Yeah,
sitting
it's
here
very
just
different, huh?
stewing on how bad of an experience it was at launch, to the point where I still don't want to try it.
Well, if you get Phantom Liberty, it is actually they so CD Projekt Red definitely did. They gave it the same treatment as Witcher 3, where that last expansion feels like you just bought a whole separate game, but with all the same characters in it. Like it's a big, big patch.
Hmm.
So you could, if you were feeling generous, play the game and then see if you want to get Phantom Liberty.
Fair. I don't have the attention span for big games anymore.
That's fair. We all turned into grown-ups when nobody was looking.
Yeah, big games are hard to play.
We
I turned
need
in.
I
You
know
say
we've
that.
talked
I
about
turned into an
this.
adult when I wasn't looking. Felt
I
like
know
I
we
just
talked about this
blinked.
before, but like I wish games like that came with a hey, I wasn't able to play for the last while and may have forgotten where the heck I was. Can I have a recap mode and a really quick primer on what the controls were again? Like I really wish a lot more games came with that.
Off the top of my head, like one game that I was playing, I should say, I was back in January and I haven't touched it since, was Tales of Symphonia, one of my favorite games ever. I put about 20 hours into it on the Steam Deck, and I've just been
Well,
busy since then. I
Mm.
remember briefly where I am, and it's got like a little journaling system to explain where you
mm.
were. So like
Mm-hmm.
that's really nice. And
Yeah.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, they've got like
Mm-hmm.
a tutorial mode you can jump into at any given point to like
Oh, that's
practice
so
your parrying,
nice.
practice the different game modes.
That's
Like
so
it's
nice.
really intelligent, and
I
it is something that is hard to put into a game, to justify putting into a game, because it's so much extra work. Even though it's the quality of life that it gives people who haven't played in months is massive.
It just matters. It matters to me because things get busy and then all of a sudden my usual schedule gets thrown out the window for a few weeks. And then I finally have spare time again and I come back to a game and I'm like, where was I? What was I doing? How did this work again?
Hmm.
And I know we talked about this when I was playing through FF16. I mentioned that it had a really good where we're at in the story. Do you remember the dramatis personae? Do you remember this? Da 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 da. And it was really, really nice and very polished, very pretty.
All
I
right.
But
know, I know I've asked a variation of this question that I'm about to ask now. What was the last game that you did like start to finish? So it's a completed game, but with, I guess, the most minimal interruption in between. So like I'm saying you like you legitimately, obviously you got life things, so aside from accounting for like family things and friends things and what other daily responsibilities,
I
work
have
and
to
you
day
would
job.
look through my
actively try to sit
Steam.
down, actively
My
tried to sit down and throw 2 or 3 hours a night on it or something like that.
The closest would be something like Dead Estate, where it's a roguelike indie game and it's really short. Like it only took me about 6 hours maybe to fully get through one
Hmm.
character. Now, having that said, one character does not beat the game make. The idea is to play through every character to get the full story. But I don't have the time for that. I think the only other game that I could even say in the last few years would be a visual novel called Endless Monday.
Oh, I played that with you. It was so nice.
Yeah.
It was so nice. I loved that game. It was so like kooky in the best way.
Hmm.
Exactly. It was so good.
Um, I feel like outside of games I've played with friends, so there is Slay the Princess, Endless Mondays. I my dude, I it's been 2 years since the last time I picked up Stray and I still have yet to finish it.
Um,
I feel very
has
guilty about
Stray
that
been
one.
out for 2 years now?
Yeah.
You strayed
Oh
from Stray,
no.
you say.
I
Yeah,
still
it's
haven't
been
played it myself. I haven't even bought it myself.
it's
Hmm.
good. Like it's a
But oh
great
my
game.
god.
But I feel immense shame that the last time I played it was 2 years ago on stream, and I
Hmm.
have not gone back to it. I like at this point, I'm gonna have to just start the game again because I'll have forgotten everything.
Yeah.
Hmm. I
Yeah, for
understand. I have
real.
that backlog. I always mention it. Witcher 3 is still on back burner.
Yo,
I'm
I
gonna get through
love Witcher
Cyberpunk
3. I have
and
played through
Horizon
Witcher 3
Zero Dawn
multiple times.
and Red
Horizon
Dead
Zero
Redemption
Dawn.
is the other
Oh
one.
my god, that one too. Wait, the
Yeah,
second one or the first one?
second one. The
Uh,
first one's not on PC still, so I only have access to the second one. I don't think I'm gonna restart the playthrough. I am just gonna wing it from where I am in that one just to finish it because I know I'm not that far off. I just got sidetracked as usual by side quests and like side things to do. But I
Many
would
side
say,
things to do.
yeah, so many. Like hunting and fishing was a big one too.
Yep, sure
I
was.
I think the most recent story-wise thing that I finished is probably Monster Hunter Wilds, but I kind of don't count it only because it is a multiplayer game. Like you can solo every monster, you can solo the entire story, but when it's multiplayer, that tends to draw you back in a lot more. With, friends being able to complete your missions alongside you. I would probably say as a single player story thing, it's probably Control. Do you know that one?
That is an indie game, right?
Not exactly. It's the people
No?
who make Alan Wake. It's in the
Oh.
Alan Wake universe.
Oh, then I
It's
don't
Oh.
very
know that one at
like
all.
it's very like SCP coded. Um, you play as a character named Jesse Fane. Fade? Fade, I think. Anyways, she is sort of like she becomes like this director of, let's say, it's like a paranormal version of the FBI.
All right.
and then she has to and then the sort of paranormal experiences and whatnot sort of invade the headquarters, and you kind of have to start clearing the
So it's
headquarters.
basically what the X-Files could have been.
I was just gonna say that sounds like
be.
the X-Files.
I admit that I have never
Angelo
watched
and I
it.
are on the same wavelength.
I've never watched the
Yeah.
X-Files. So.
What?
I am fairly certain that we are on the cusp of watching the X-Files because we have now gone through the Star Treks that aired when we were kids, and it's either that or I'm going to have to watch through all of Buffy. So
Oh, wow.
I'll pick something. I just don't know what yet.
Early Buffy was fantastic. I freaking
Right?
loved that show.
Right.
In
Hit
the
a lot
later
of-
seasons, it got really, really heavy on the teen rom-com, not rom-com aspect, but just the romance drama aspect.
Yeah,
And,
I know.
I was there for the demon hunting and vampire slaying.
Same.
Yo, my favorite character was Giles.
Oh, Giles was
Aw,
so good.
Giles was amazing.
Yeah.
Out of
Speaking
curiosity,
of-
when you think of like what the coolest episode is, think about it right now, and I want to see if we're thinking about the exact same episode. Do you remember
coolest
the
episode?
episode where it was those two creepy dudes who were flying through and they stole everyone's voice?
Yes, and then everybody suddenly broke out into song.
Did that actually
And, like, the-
happen?
So there's
Yeah,
like
it's a
another
musical
episode. Yeah, there was an episode
I do
after
remember
it.
there was a musical episode. They were different episodes.
But there was an episode where they stole everyone's voice, and it was like the silentest episode.
Exactly.
I don't know the silent episode.
All right.
I remember, I guess the most impactful one is probably the one where Buffy dies.
Weren't there
The
multiple?
first time or the second time or the fourth time?
I
It's
feel like Buffy
the
dying was
one
about
where
as common as
I
Goku
think it's
dying.
probably the first time because it's referenced in. I can't remember if it's the first time actually, but it's linked to the musical because she has a line in there where or a verse in there that she states that she didn't want to be brought back because she was happy.
Yeah, and
Huh.
because she was in heaven. Yes, I
She actually
remember.
made it to heaven, yeah. So
Yeah.
God damn. I actually don't remember that.
Time for a rewatch.
Evidently.
Time for a rewatch. But you know what, Angelo? It's funny that you mentioned the demon hunting and the vampire slaying because I heard that you also recently did a slaying.
I did do a slaying. I mercilessly performed a triple decapitation on a houseplant.
Oh my
everything
gosh,
this
how could
man
you?
touches dies.
I'm
Including
so bad.
computers.
So I need to roll this back a little bit. I had to help my mother move this weekend.
Ah, yes.
Yes, it is quite the ordeal, and it's something that we've been working through. We put a lot of effort into moving almost everything that we could move without a truck earlier in the month. And so we were finally loading up. We actually got everything loaded into the truck in about 2 hours, which was fantastic. And one of
pretty good.
the last things to go into this truck was this very large, very old rubber tree houseplant that my mom has had for I don't even know how long. I feel like this
Decades.
plant is at least 20 years old.
All I'm saying is, if
Damn.
this plant is made of rubber, it's not a real tree anyways, Angelo. It's fine.
What happened?
J. Won't you be so surprised when you read the Wikipedia page about rubber? Now,
Yes, indeed.
I think you mean latex.
I was very, very careful about driving the U-Haul truck down the road. I was taking corners slow. I was doing everything that I could. And so this tree that was in the back of the truck, to paint the picture for you, because I forgot to do that, it is in this large, very large clay pot. The pot itself is about 2 feet tall. And it's a square pot, I would say about 18 inches square, give or take, 2 feet tall. And the tree itself is probably about 4 feet above that. There's one large stalk and then 3 heads that come off of it.
It's taller than you?
Yes, actually.
Holy.
Yes, actually.
But
Oh,
why?
God.
So,
Not important.
I back the truck up. I open the door. And I go white as a ghost. I feel like I am about to get sent to God in the worst way possible. The tree fell over in the truck,
No.
and every single head snapped off of it.
No.
Dang.
My mom has had an awful time with certain people, my brother-in-law specifically, breaking stuff of hers when she moves, right?
No.
And she's kind of a pack rat. She has way too much stuff. So I'm always telling her, get rid of things. Throw this shit out. Get rid of that. You don't need that. But
You
this
gotta Mary
tree, it was
Kondo
like,
it.
this tree is something that even I was like, I complain about a lot of your garbage. This tree ain't one of them. The tree's fantastic.
No.
Oh, I felt so bad.
I would
felt
too.
awful.
Oh no.
Now, all we could really do, a couple of the heads had enough stock on them that they might begin rooting after we stick them back into the dirt. So it's basically all we could do, stick them in the dirt, get them lots of water, and pray. Pray that something happens.
Try in water first and then put it in dirt when
The
it
heads
actually
of the
starts
trees are
rooting.
still quite large.
I know, but surely you can buy
Buckets.
like a little vase or something for them to sand in.
Potentially.
Maybe.
Potentially.
Do I need to lend you a vase?
No, Mom's got like 12.
Okay, well then that's fine.
Yeah, she's got too many vases. I was
Oh.
legitimately like, just to complain. My mom was asking me to put this big box of cookbooks on top of her fridge because it was too heavy for her to do it on her own. And I was saying, well, if I do that, it's going to block the cupboard above the fridge. And she said, it's like, don't worry, there's just vases in there. I never use those. And if you have this many vases that you don't use, get rid of some of them. You have an entire cupboard. You could use that cupboard for like 5 different things instead of just unlimited vase. Anyway.
Dear goodness. I'm so sorry for the issue, the incident with the tree. That's
I'm
very sad.
praying the tree pulls through.
The three of
for
us
my
have
own
relatively
sake.
good green thumbs, so it hurts a little bit when a plant
Yeah.
suffers an unfortunate incident.
It's
Plant
just
friend's good.
had one of the leafy heads of the tree stayed on, I wouldn't have felt as bad. But literally all 3 came off. And I'm just like, well, maybe the tree will grow new leaves.
It can.
It can.
As long as it can, just
It
keep
can.
remembering to fertilize every now and again. Give it water, make sure it's warm, make sure it gets sun.
Yeah.
It's the best you can do.
Yeah. It's got a nice southern exposure window now, so
Wow.
it has the best chance. But I still feel bad about it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm the
Can't help
plant
it, though.
murderer.
It's true.
There was that one time that you left Dio's with a basil plant in
Oh, yeah.
minus 30 and it immediately died.
Oh yeah, ugh.
This man commits plant crimes.
I do commit plant crimes.
Why did I give you any of mine?
I don't know.
I know you're
but
just
it's
going to
living
commit-
so far. It's
I
living.
gave you
the
mine and you
gooseberry
were
is living
doing
so
well with
far.
it.
Wait, which one did you give us?
I gave you aloes.
Oh, that aloe's for. I recently repotted it.
Yay!
It had
needed
a baby. It had a baby, and
See?
so we needed to put the big one off in its own pot and put the
Yeah.
baby in a smaller pot.
Yeah.
They're doing very
Remember
good.
last year when I was giving all of those away because my big mother plant had too many babies? All of the babies are now having babies. So I'm like 4 or 5 generations down from the original mother plant now.
Oh my
Cool.
god,
It's crazy wild.
that's nice.
It's very prolific. I don't know what I'm doing. Just keep it up. Be good.
Hell yeah.
Flourish. Be happy.
Yeah.
Speaking of being happy, does anybody have a fast food guilty pleasure?
I
feel like
wanted to bring
that's
this
a
up.
trick question.
Yeah.
Trick question.
Everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
That much is clear.
Yep.
Sometimes it's a specific item on a menu.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's an entire franchise.
Mm.
I feel like everybody knows what theirs is because, they'll hear their friends, talk shit about it, but then they'll be like, now they reminded me, and now I'm going to go and get one for myself tonight.
I wish I could say that, but my fast food guilty pleasures are so inconvenient that I don't care about them anymore. I've weaned myself off of them. In the past,
makes
it
it
would have been
inconvenient?
Taco Bell specifically,
Oh.
because I grew up in Windsor. I grew up
Yeah.
in a town of 200,000 people with 6 Taco Bells, right?
Wow.
It was very easy to go to a Taco Bell and get myself a gordita, get myself a fries supreme, get myself a crunch wrap. Those were really cool when they were introduced. They were great. Fantastic. I love those ones.
Mm-hmm.
We are in a city of 1.6 million people. Why are there only like 3 Taco Bells in the entire city? And the most convenient one is in the food court of a mall, so it doesn't have the full menu.
Right. Well, I guess you're fine. You're safe.
I'm saved,
I
but
don't-
at what cost?
I don't know why you need the full menu, but you could still go there. You know where it is, and it's not far.
It's annoying to have to go to it. It really,
And-
truly is.
And
I
thus
mean-
you are saved.
May I also introduce the idea that Taco Bell is American and
Yeah,
Taco
no.
Time is Canadian?
So I went to Taco Time once, and it did scratch the itch a little bit, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same. The
I grew up
vibe
with
is
more Taco
correct.
Time.
The vibe is correct.
I grew up more with Taco Time. Taco Bell wasn't something I had until I think I was in my 20s. Because, yes, they are quite few and far between around here.
They really are.
I don't really like the truth is they're both pretty bad
Yes, they
but-
are.
because of the nostalgia taste. I still prefer Taco Time and their hot sauces and their specific little meager spice blend, and their Taco Tuesday specials and things like that.
That's
Fair.
valid. That's valid. No, 100%.
Fair. I feel like in terms of generic item on a menu that I'm almost always drawn to, probably French fries.
Okay.
I'm very picky though. Like if I'm trying fries out from a place I've never had them before, I'm very like, are they crispy enough? Did they season them right? Is the seasoning actually sticking to the fries? Is it the right thickness that I like? There's a lot of that. Even A&W. I used to love A&W fries. They are not the same anymore, and I have not found a place that used to do them the same way.
Oh.
So it's super disappointing. If I had to pick a franchise, maybe A&W, but they're so expensive these days, they barely qualify as fast food anymore.
Everywhere, all of them are expensive. Like I pretty
All
much
fast food is very pricey these days. It's insane.
I don't want to
Yeah.
say I exclusively get like the value menu stuff, but I like the value menu stuff. Like my
think we all
preferred
do.
order at a McDonald's is the McDouble and like a fries and a Coke Zero or something like that.
For
And
me,
that
the
comes up to
cost
$6
just-
now.
You know, for a single meal at McDonald's, that's still reasonable.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually.
You can't get a Big Mac for just $6.
No, I think a Big Mac is like $8 by itself,
Yeah,
which that's a pub burger price, you know?
exactly.
And a pub burger is now like 15.
Legitimately,
Costco
fast
hot
food
dogs.
prices are keeping me out of fast food.
Costco
That's
hot
okay.
dogs.
Costco hot dogs.
Yeah, I mean, it is fast food by nature, but it's not fast food by destination, if that
True,
makes sense,
but
Yeah.
it's
right?
still fast food prices, $1.50.
Uh, I would say my fast food like guilty franchise is probably Arby's. There used to be a lot
Really?
more
Mm.
Arby's. There used to be a lot more Arby's in Calgary, but they started closing down. There used to be like one on 17th or not 17th,
I feel like you're the only
along
person I
McLeod.
know who legitimately likes Arby's.
Same. I've never heard anyone say Arby's to that question.
See? It's guilty
But
pleasure. It's pure
I
guilty
mean,
pleasure question.
I know a
Because
lot of people who are like, "Oh, I have to have McDonald's," and like, there's more
yeah,
than one of them in my life, but you're the only one who has specifically called out Arby's.
it's because well, there's two notes. One of them is it is nostalgic. They used to have like pretty good deals on like their sandwiches that was like maybe it was like two for $4 or two for $3 even back in the day for some of their like roast beef with cheddar sandwiches and things. And I went with my parents every now and then, so that's kind of a memory thing. But then the other side of it is that they do have some legitimately good items that aren't even their roast beef sandwiches if you don't like their roast beef sandwiches. I like the curly fries. The curly fries are almost always a hit.
Fair. No,
I
That's a
do
big
Arby's
one.
love
Curly's fries are
fries.
fantastic. It's just
Mhm.
I wouldn't go there for just the curly fries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's totally fair. Number two, so I used to work at Chinook Center, and Chinook Center used to have an Arby's. And that's where I
Mm-hmm.
found out that I like their chicken fingers.
Oh.
Their chicken strips are pretty good. I would say they're better than A&W's. Obviously McDonald's doesn't have them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only other franchise that I can think of that has chicken
Chicken
strips
fingers.
that isn't a like forward shop, like not a KFC, not a Popeyes, is probably
Uh-huh.
Dairy Queen.
Yeah, they have the strangely like everything is uniformly shaped into a
Yeah.
pseudo shape.
But yeah, I remember Arby's chicken strips are pretty crunchy and
Uh-huh.
like they have good texture and they like had decent seasoning. So I just went with them sometimes. They were pretty good. But the last thing that I really liked at Arby's, even though I haven't gotten one in a while, is they have baked potatoes. And I don't know why, like, I can make baked potatoes at home. I mean, they're one of the easiest and cheapest forms of potato to make at home by a long shot. Like,
But they
sour
take
cream is,
forever.
they don't.
They
I've
do.
45 minutes or 50 minutes or something like that to properly bake a potato.
But
I
it's
made
passive.
an entire spaghetti squash today for only 25 minutes.
I'm just saying it's passive.
I
Like,
understand
to do
that.
the
I really
actual
do.
potato part, you literally just throw it on a baking tray, set the temp, and just set a timer. And you
Like,
you
I
don't have to
feel-
pre-season it. You can clean the potato, of course, but like
I
that's
feel
that's
so
nothing.
petty complaining about this. I feel so petty complaining about this. But
This
if
is the
I'm
one
going
thing
to
you feel
just
petty about?
if I'm going to have a potato and it's up to me to put like some butter, some sour cream, maybe some chives
Yeah.
or bacon bits or something on there, I don't want it to take 3/4 of an hour, a better part of an hour, even if almost all of that time is sitting on my ass. The principle
Angela.
of it is just
Angelo, I have a solution for you. My guilty pleasure, Arby's. They do baked potatoes. That's the thing. And it feel
Crazy.
and I think, except for probably the processed cheese part of it, everything else like in that baked potato felt pretty healthy and for a potato dish that you can get
honestly.
as a fast food on a fast food menu. It kind of hit. And I remember them being about $2 or $3, and that's pretty good.
You can actually microwave potatoes pretty quickly and get almost a perfect baked potato that way.
Oh, true. You can do that with corn too.
Yeah.
Well, then.
It's not 100% the same. I would say it's a
No,
little bit too
not quite.
moist for
A
potatoes.
little
Uh,
too
uh, uh,
moist.
When you bake a potato, they dry out a little bit. The texture is
Yes.
a little
They
bit
do.
different.
And they fluff a little bit.
Exactly. Whereas when you microwave a potato, it will be cooked. It will be edible. It will be good.
Yes,
but it's
by
not,
definition cooked.
It's not right. You know what I mean?
Whoa. That's some boomer talk. It ain't right. That potato ain't right.
That potato ain't right.
Yeah, we went there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of my argument for Arby's is passionate and strong because I do like the variety that most other places don't offer.
I feel like Timmy's used to have baked potatoes.
They did. They
I don't
also
remember,
used to
to be
have
honest.
pretty good like lunch sandwiches and stuff, but I don't think that's on their menu anymore.
From Timmy's, I would say my guilty pleasure dish is probably I like their chili.
They used to have chili in a bread bowl, and it used to be fantastic.
Yes.
I do not trust anything from Timmy's except for an iced cap these days, and that's only barely.
I had a friend who worked at Timmy's many years ago, and they had a crunchy chicken sandwich that was really good. And then they got rid of it like immediately after that summer, and I was like, okay, great. No more lunches for me here, I guess.
Yeah. No.
But their menu hasn't been the same in ages.
No. Timmy's. Anybody who says that Timmy's is their favorite fast food place simultaneously is living 30 years in the past and also doesn't know the meaning of fast.
I do order from Timmy's on a somewhat regular basis, but I order through the app so I can pick it up.
Yeah, because
not
if you
think
actually
about
go in and you order anything that isn't just coffee and a donut, you're waiting like 20 minutes for whatever you're looking for, and that's if they're not busy.
It's true.
I don't trust the ice caps like you say, but I don't mind the iced coffee.
It's
iced
less
coffee is
about
fine.
trusting it and more that shit is crack cocaine.
That's what I think of iced coffee.
Iced caps
But
came out when I
also-
was in grade 5, and I have been fucking addicted ever since.
My
That explains so much.
my go around for that. I get not on the ice caps because I don't really want to break out the blender, but because I have my nugget ice machine, I'll usually just buy like an extra large, like dark roasts double, and then just make the like the ice portion at home. So I just kind of have more.
Nice.
It's nice. Yeah,
That does sound good.
Interesting.
we can talk about fast food hacks some other time.
Okay. That does sound like a fun idea.
That sounds like an idea for the next episode.
The next episode of the Otafest podcast.
That's this podcast.
Next week.
Did you know?
Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Farewell.